That's all she wrote, boys. You're a little hot. Alright, so what we learned today? Well, for one, I learned that there's a fuckload of ambulances going around today. A whole bunch of fucking retards getting in accidents because they don't know how to drive in the goddamn snow. Also learned that dumping 4 mags consecutively out of your middle receiver rifle gets it really hot. Who'd have thunk? We also learned that AC Unity mags, which are like almost a quarter of the price of a Circle 10 mag, are actually more reliable than the fucking Circle 10 mags that I waited months to get my hands on. So if you recall in one of the clips from one of the videos I was shooting at the range, we had a failure to feed out of one of the newer Circle 10 mags.
Finger off the trigger when you're ready.
Uh-oh.
Push that with your thumb. There you go.
Ah. Had her first jammy poo. That's with a Circle 10 mag too. What the fuck, man? And yeah, that kind of got my fucking ass a little bit chapped there, I ain't gonna lie, because These fuckers, the last time I checked, were $12.50 a pop. And they're just, yeah, they're just a regular, like, it's beyond my comprehension. These things worked flawlessly out of the box. This is the AC Unity, obviously. Whereas the Circle 10 mags, like, I'm just really irritated because of the price of these things. I don't know if it's because they need breaking in or whatever the fuck. I have never heard of a magazine that needs breaking in, let alone one that costs $50 a pop, because they use the same fucking squid ink on these mags that they do on the rifles themselves, which is kind of ass. It's beyond my comprehension, and it especially becomes annoying when you have a whole fuckload of these. So this is $50. $50. $50. $50. $50. $50. $50. $50. $50. Like, am I getting my point across? That's fucking bullshit. Like, this is fucking ass. Anyway, learning experience for all of us involved, I guess. Anyway, yeah, the rifle ran flawlessly with the AC Unity mags and had 2 consecutive failures to feed. Well, not consecutively. There were 2 different failures to feed out of 2 different Circle 10 mags, which are supposed to be military grade. Oh, they're military grade, super durable, which, granted, the AC Unity mags have a plastic floor plate. I think that's its one design flaw, but other than that, it has a steel locking lug in the rear, steel locking lug there, and it has a hold open feature, which it's getting kind of worn. I don't expect it to be, you know, useful in the future if you would fucking focus. It's getting a little bit worn. But, like, yeah, these mags fucking kick ass. I totally recommend them to anybody who's just taking their 5.56 AK out to plink. Of course, like, there's an asterisk at the end of that. Like, not all 5.56 mags are 100% compatible with each other. With all different types of guns, you need to reference what mags work with what. But I think if I could add a little bit of a criticism, AC Unity, I don't know if you're watching this. I don't know why you'd watch my stupid shit-ass channel, but if you could develop either a stronger floor plate or one that's made out of metal and somehow integrate that into this, I don't know how you would do that without spending a shitload of money, but like that would be totally cool. Like, these mags would absolutely fucking rape. Yeah, totally cool. Because these guys obviously have the steel floor plate standard on all AK mags, at least the high quality ones. So if you're looking to kit your SAM5 or 5.56 AK in general out with mags, if you're going to go to war, get these. But if you know, you need some range toys and you don't feel like spending fucking like half a paycheck on mags, or however much fucking money you make, I don't know. I stopped being a wagey a long time ago. But, you know, yeah, if you don't want to spend a shitload of money, these AC Unity mags fucking kick ass. They're fucking awesome. I highly recommend them. And so I guess there's really not a whole lot else to talk about. I'm surprised the finish didn't bubble off the barrel. I got that thing fucking hot. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing torn down and cleaned, and we'll look at the before and after to see if there was any wear and tear. Yeah, let's get into that. Alright, now we come to the part of the video where you get to listen to my super sexy voice. Now we are going to do a little bit of jumping around between live action and voiceover, so hopefully that doesn't confuse you too terribly much. I'm going to go ahead and splice in some old footage from a prior test with a couple of different guns. Pretty much throughout the entire testing session thus far, we've been using Wolf, which is basically made by Tula. It comes in a Wolf box, but it has a Tula head stamp, and all it is, it's just shitty 223 low pressure rounds. Not a whole lot of wear and tear going on so far. At least that's what I think. I don't know. I'm going to let you guys be the judge here, and I'm going to take it down, clean it. I'm going to go through a whole bunch of different before and after pictures, and I'm going to let you guys come to the conclusion. So keep in mind when you're looking at these photos and footage of all the different parts and such and so forth that there's roughly, I don't know, I'm gonna call it 1,400 rounds of total ammunition expenditure between then and now. The vast majority of that being the shitty steel case Wolf. And I think out of those 1,400 rounds, 200 of which was M193 made by PMC. Yeah, that's pretty much what we've got through it so far. I would like to test more ammunition types, varmint ammo, and I think I would like to run another 1,000 rounds of PMC M193 because it is higher pressure. So the first thing I kind of wanted to go over with you guys is the bolt carrier group. So here we have before and after. I tried getting a similar angle on all the pictures I've taken. Some of them are kind of not very good. The after photos in general are a little bit better than the ones before. So here we see a little bit of the details of the bolt face. Right here is a particular point of concern. And we go to after the last 1,000 rounds. Finish is worn off. Well, finish is worn off basically everywhere, especially on the face. And to be completely honest, I really don't see that much of a difference, at least in terms of wear. We zoom in, like it's not mushroomed over right there. I think the only point of actual wear could be potentially right here where the ejector rail runs across, and even at that, it's really not all that terrible. That's just a chamfer from initial machining. There's a little bit going on right there. This is from the first 400-ish rounds. Yeah. Actually, come to think of it, I don't really think that got any worse. Extractor is still in good shape. Yeah, that's finish coming off. Finish is just such fucking shit on these things. So let's go to the next one. This is before. This is after. Again, before and after. And where it contacts the face of the chamber is basically in the white. And honestly, I really don't see anything significant happening here. It is a little bit worn in right here. I've never seen an AK that hasn't done that with any round count. Yeah, I'm just not seeing really a whole lot. Yeah, you can see fibers from the gun sock, the gun cleaning sock. Okay, again, before, after, before, after. Yeah, let's move on. Before and after. Get a little bit zoomed in on the lug there. And yeah, I mean, in general, I really don't see anything too terribly concerning here. Just a whole bunch of fucking finish wear. Again, I'm going to let you guys be the judge here. We'll move on to the next one. This is the tail of the bolt. Now, what I want to look for are, well, is this whole backside here. And the lighting in this first photo and then the before photo is not that great, so after, before, after. Yeah. And let's take a little bit of a zoom in. It's a little bit worn in. Honestly, everything I can see so far is basically normal wear. Now we start to notice a strange phenomenon on the back of the bolt here. We notice this is obviously after. There are these two flat spots right here and right here. From here around to there is just, that's wear from, I'm assuming, the hammer. But yeah, we got two flat spots, and if you look in right there, it's just a little bit peened over. Okay. Before, after. Yeah, you get the idea. So this is the bottom of the bolt. This is the lug, the what would strip rounds out of the mag. And that's afterwards. Let's see here. I'm trying to look for things that are out of the ordinary. Looking for wear there and along up in here. Any deformation, any obvious signs of undue stress and wear. And yeah, I just ain't seeing it. Here we're moving on to the carrier. And keep this guy in mind right here. This is before and after. Before, after, before, after. It kind of mushroomed out a little bit. Just a little bit more. Might be the angle. Yeah. Before, after, before, after. And I ran my finger through this and a Q-tip, and I ran a Q-tip. I call this the Q-tip test to check for burrs. Any protruding bits of steel that got peened over
from undue wear. And I just ain't seen a whole lot of that, to be honest. I don't know if that's supposed to be concerning or not. I don't really care right now. I'm just gonna, keep my eyes peeled for that. Here we got the carrier tail end. This is always a point of contention for a lot of AKs, so of course we got before, after. It's before, after. Yeah, I've noticed that it's got a little bit of a semicircular profile after 400 rounds. And then afterwards, this is 1400. It's flattened out a good little bit. This is a side profile before. Yeah, I didn't get the right angle on that afterwards. Huh. So it's kind of hard to tell from this angle, or at least this photo. Let's move on. This is before, after, before, after. You can definitely tell flipping between the two of these that I got a little bit flatter over on this end here, because on this end it's basically equalized. And also there's this right here. Keep an eye on that. That guy's going to be important later on.
Carrier tail deformation isn't very extreme. However, given this low round count, I don't know. I have questions and I don't have a lot of answers.
We have the bottom of the spring before, after. Some AKs, there's wear along here. This will flatten out and sort of bulge after high round counts. So this is 400 rounds and this is another 1,000. This isn't something that's extremely critical. It's not gonna break the gun if it gets too bad. It's just something to look out for. And it is worth noting, this is a common thing that happens with a lot of AKs, regardless of make or model. A lot of them do this, where they flatten out right in that general area. Not too terribly much, but, it does happen. Now we got the back of the receiver, and you remember that part of the carrier that I said we'll have to put in the back of our minds for later. Well, this is it. So we got before, and we got after. Before, okay, after, before, after. Now what I'm looking for is this general area right here and right here on the opposite side. So before, I had no idea where this is coming from, and when I looked at the back of the carrier and then put the bolt in it, well, I'll just show you.
So looking at the bolt, right? And so there are these two flat spots in the bolt. Initially I thought one of these two was from hammer That raises questions. Aha. A clue. That's suspiciously square. Man, this thing can't focus worth shit. That's suspiciously square. This is the position it would normally be in where the hammer would strike. And this is in the position where it would be if it were to, you know, say, hit the ass end of the receiver going the speed of light.
So this is the before photo. And what we notice is that there's a little bit of wear going on there and a patch right there. So a little bit of mushrooming happening there and there, because this used to carry over, and then there was that little relief cut made into it, and then this is obviously not like that. So this is after. So this is 1,400 rounds in. Now we're really starting to notice that finish is completely gone right there, which is completely normal. I wouldn't think that's out of the ordinary, but when I look at this here and that there, very noticeable. This is the dovetail for the recoil spring. And we notice that the distance between the bottom of that relief cut and where this fucking dished in part of the receiver is, it's definitely progressed a little bit. Definitely worsened. So on the AK files and r/AK47, I know there are people having this exact problem, either because the receivers are not hardened properly or heat treated properly, which I have my doubts that that's the issue. My theory is that the guns are not gassed correctly. And short term, the only solution that I can really conceive of at this particular moment in time is to put one of those stupid rubber buffer end pieces in here, and even at that, I don't know if that would really fully solve the problem. I don't know if that would create more issues or not, because eventually at some point this is gonna get to a place where you can't move your recoil spring, you can't take it in or out, and you're gonna have to file this down every so often, and that's kind of not good. So as of right now, the gun functions properly. The recoil spring is easy to remove. I have no issues sliding it in or out of this dovetail, but that's not to say that it won't progress or worsen within the future. So I am going to do another test with M193 to see if this gets any worse. And if it does, I'm going to contact Arsenal Inc. and see what to do about this, because frankly, this is unacceptable. Now we have the front of the receiver where the chamber and the front lugs are. This is before. Then we got after. Before. After. Before. After. So the after photo has a little bit better resolution. It's a little bit better in focus. I got finish wearing off the face of the chamber. This has not gotten any better or worse. going along the receiver. We're looking at the ejector rail. This is a point that I'm kind of worried about. Yeah, so here's a different angle on that. This is after the test, so this is 1400 rounds in. And if we zoom in on the ejector, we can see that there's this triangular part right here that's kind of smushed in. And again, this is not a very high round count either. Like if this was in the 10,000 round plus area, I wouldn't be concerned about this. But yeah, this is not very promising. I understand that ejectors do, you know, cop quite a flogging from steel cases and casings in general, but like this is, yeah. Let's go back to that other photo here quick. Yeah. So this is more of a top profile. We can clearly see this is being hammered back to the side. This is the underside of the receiver in the mag well. A lot of finish wear happening right there. And if we look in here, like this is perfectly straight, perfectly nothing really wrong there, and then it kind of, yeah. Again, I'm gonna let you be the judge here. Bullet guide's fine. Bullet guide ain't loose. Finish worn off. There's nothing out of the ordinary here, at least from my point of view.
Shout if anything jumps at you. There's a little bit right there. Oh, this fucking lighting just ain't cooperating. I don't notice anything immediately that jumps out at me. The ejector is starting to flatten out right on the corner there. Just a little bit. I don't know. Hammer's fine. Trigger group's fine. Works fine. Trigger group is kind of shit. I do want to replace this with an ALG, but just in case I need to take this rifle back for warranty for any reason, I don't want them to be like, oh, well, you were using a different trigger group and that completely changes the dynamic of how the AK functions. Dirt, 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 dirt. Because I know they're going to try that.
This is a side profile of the receiver. This is before. This after. Before. After. Before. After. Etc. This was a point of contention for me because this failed the Q-tip test. You can see fibers hanging off that little burr right there. But as we see in the later photo, it really hasn't progressed as far as I can tell. You got finish worn off of the chamber face. That's normal. What else do we got? Yeah, just a bunch of wear. You can see again the ejector is hammered over a bunch. And then we got this place right here in the front of the receiver where the bolt smashes up against it right next to the charging handle. Here's a better picture of that. You can see that part right there just slamming up against it. It's a little bit deformed right there. Yeah, and as you can see, yeah, that is mushrooming out a little bit. I know some AKs do this. I didn't think I'd see this out of a milled receiver, but here we fucking are. And you can see, this is weird because these little dimples right here, here, and here, these are all hardness testing points, which tells me that they did hardness testing, but like, did it pass? Did it fail? I can't fucking tell anymore. This is really odd. That might be one right there too, or that could just be a defect. There's one right there underneath the lock for the gas tube. Yeah, if we look at that, you can clearly see that is mushroomed out. And here we got a before shot of this angle of the receiver. And then a little bit after. So let's go back to before, after. I can't really discern a difference. A little bit of wear right there. Go back to the before and after. Yeah, just finish wear as far as I can tell. And here we go back to the back of the receiver here. We can see the two parts where the bolt came into contact with that back part of the receiver. And then we got afterward. Man, I really should have centered these pictures better for you. Apologize. And we can see finish wear, but it's not hammering it yet. This is where the carrier contacts the back of the receiver in these two areas here. It's just finished. That's chipped off. But these two areas right here, and a little bit right there. Yeah, that's getting progressively worse. Again, this is before, right? We got a little bit more meat over here. This side's obviously way worse than this side. So that's like halfway down, and that's, I don't know, 3/4 of the way down, and then we got almost all the way down, and that's more than halfway down. Yeah, so that's definitely progressing. It's definitely getting worse, as much as I don't want to admit it. Yeah, and this is a couple of after photos, 1,400 rounds in. We can see that the carrier tail is mushrooming. Nothing really bad going on with the part of the carrier that contacts the back of the receiver, and the receiver is fine where those contact. But again, those two semicircular sections where the bolt comes back at Mach fucking 10 and hits those, hits that semicircular cut into the back of the receiver there, clearly taking the brunt of the impact, because as the bolt is coming back during the recoil stroke, it just slides in and out of that part of the carrier there, and there's no spring or nothing to stop it, so it acts like a hammer or a punch, and that's what it's doing. Yeah, you fucking hate to see it. The safety selector, every now and again during the course of firing, was working its way out of the relief cut there where it normally sits, and it would fall out of that, and it would ride up to about right there, to the point where I couldn't pull the trigger. And every now and again I would have to put it back down to fire, and then it would slowly work its way out and then up again. The trigger felt really weird. That's when you know you have to put it back down into that groove. That's kind of fucking stupid. I don't know what's causing that, but that's a thing that's happening. At any rate, I think that pretty well concludes our testing and analysis, at least the first go around. I haven't given up on this rifle yet. I still think she's got some life left in her, but I think before I do end up sending this thing back to Arsenal Inc., which I am going to do at some point after I think it's just getting a little bit too self-destructive. I am going to send that back to them, see what they think. I know there are people that are sending their rifles back and with mixed results, and I kind of want to throw my hat into the ring after that point and see what materializes. Yeah, at this point, I just have way too much invested into the rifle and accessories to just throw it the fuck away or sell it off to some unsuspecting retard. So I do believe my best course of action right now is to just continue testing and evaluating and seeing how it does. I have no feelings, good or bad, about the rifle at this point. I'm kind of just wanting to see what it does. Test number 2 is going to involve 1,000 rounds of M193 and probably, I don't know, a mishmash of some other bullshit ammo that you really shouldn't be using in this gun, but I'm going to use it anyway because god damn it, I want to see what happens. I am just as curious as you are to see what's going to happen within the future, and I'm kind of motivated to continue testing, so be on the lookout for that. And until that happens, keep your dick wet and your shit pipe really fucking tight, and hang on because I don't know, shit's getting really crazy lately. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut the video off here because it's getting a little too fucking long for the average attention span of my viewing audience.
God damn it. I did it! Fuck!